is Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations the perfect sequel? Oh yes, baby! And it contains life lessons I'm very excited to talk about. One of them pretty obvious for a certain fan favorite character, but it may not be what you think. I will also give it a short review after the end of the ranking to give my final thoughts about the game in general. I need to warn you, this video will have spoilers for all the original trilogy. Without further ado, these are my top 3 life lessons from Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Number 3. Say what's essential and skip the details. You know, besides the final bosses of each game, the person I got the most satisfaction getting caught was Furio Tigre. As a character, not a big fan, but the way he found his doom is hilarious. This man couldn't keep his mouth shut, much more than normal in Ace Attorney, and reveal details only the true culprit will know to prove his innocence. Bruh. I mean, that's great, he deserved it, but if he would have said just enough, he wouldn't be under cuffs. You know who else couldn't keep her mouth shut and is more overlooked? Morgan. She couldn't even speak and still found a way to mess it up. Like, really, Morgan? You just had to include in your notes for your big master plan made for your 9-year-old daughter gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades. I mean, Morgan's a psychopath, but if she hadn't said that, Phoenix wouldn't have deduced all the details with Pearl's involvement, which basically settled Morgan's fate again. There are occasions where of course it's important to give all details. In my job as a programmer, I really appreciate when clients give me all details of a bug so I can kill that pest. But I also previously worked in customer service, and let me tell you from past experience, giving too many details can go wrong, and the screaming is more probable than usual. It really depends on the context, but I found that most of the time, it's better to just give the essentials and skip the filler, like any good anime. And well, for people that are actual criminals, I do hope they never learn this lesson. Number 2. The power of good looks. This lesson is featured by Miss Devil Incarnate. How many lives did she destroy by her good appearance? Terry Falls, poisoned. Valerie Hawthorne, stabbed. Diego Armando, poisoned into an X-Men. Doc Swallow, electrocuted. Phoenix Wright, turned into a simp. Misty Faye, killed with a lot of details, and Dahlia was already dead, oh my god. I mean, that last one wasn't by her good looks, but the other ones she either got away or almost got away because of her good looks. This lesson is well known because it is really powerful. It's part of the charisma of a person and it influences how other people treat us. To be honest, I'm a bit of a hypocrite with this lesson. I don't take as much care of my appearance as I wish to. I would love if I didn't need to shave and let my beard grow so it looked like the one from Diego Armando, but if I let it grow, it actually looks more like Hotie's hair. A movie that really connected with me in order to take care of my looks is Crazy Stupid Love. Without spoilers, the main character is learning from an experienced ladies' man about dating because he's having trouble with his wife. And one thing that he realizes is that compared to the ladies' man, he does not have very good looks, as he's not taking care of them, and doesn't know how, because he didn't have to put that effort with his wife after being together for so long, and slowly the spark had faded away. A healthy couple should love how the other person is and how it looks, but that doesn't mean just because of that, we are going to stop taking care of our appearance. Another important part is dressing for the occasion, because let's be honest, at the beginning, this man does not look like this man. If I was a random dude in the Ace Attorney universe and you told me who he was, I would think you are crazy, there ain't no way this is the legendary Phoenix Wright. And Mia was not feeling very confident about his client, because this madman dressed like this for his freaking trial where he's accused of murder. If Mia did not have the guts, this man could have been found guilty. And Phoenix most likely did not have time to change clothes after being arrested, but it doesn't take away the fact that it makes people take him less seriously. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure Phoenix dressed like this when going out with Dahlia, which was actually Iris. And in that case, as a romantic date, this is perfect, because she made it for him. I'm pretty sure Iris will never forget that, thus dressing for the occasion. And current Phoenix with his look looks perfect for a trial. The power of good looks helps him to be taken more seriously. Well, as much as possible. Number 1. The only time a lawyer can cry, it's when it's all over. The obvious lesson from this that I took from playing the game the first time is to not give up until you have given it your all. In the case of a lawyer or similar professions, even more so, because your client believes in you. Only after everything is over, you can give up and let it all out, and I think that's pretty much the intention. But considering the tragedy that is the fate of Godot, this phrase takes a different meaning for me. Godot confessed that he killed Misty Faye, although to protect Maya from Dahlia, he is still guilty of the murder. And he said it himself, this could all have been prevented if he had told Phoenix. His sentence for his crime was most likely execution, because he shows up alongside Mia and Misty Faye, two deceased characters in the end credits. So why didn't he told Phoenix? Well, he put the blame on him for Mia's death, because he couldn't accept that Mia's life was over and he couldn't protect her. Neither that he couldn't take revenge on Dahlia as her life was over too, if he had only accepted this. But instead he found a chance to protect the person most similar to Mia, and even though he did not plan for it, he eventually also found a chance to take revenge on the person that took away everything from him. And he took it. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. For Godot, that moment was long overdue, and because he couldn't process the grief before, it ended in more tragedy. Misty didn't have to die, and neither Godot. Godot could have connected with Phoenix and Maya. They would have helped him heal. He could have even talked with Mia because Maya would definitely agree in channeling her. The real name for the first lesson of this ranking is that it's important to identify when things are over to accept it. There are many parts in which we can apply this in our lives. A breakup, losing a job, but the one for certain is death. It's unpleasant to think about it, and yet essential. There's a bestseller book titled Being Mortal that I recommend everyone reads. It describes the ethical dilemmas regarding aging and medical treatments. Because even though there are procedures that could prolong the life of the elderly, in many cases it could actually make their life shorter or more miserable, or both. I believe most people prefer dying alongside their family members. In my personal life, my father passed away of cancer when I was a kid. I really wish I could have spent more time with him, but after he entered the hospital, I never saw him again. Thankfully, I only have good memories of him and he didn't suffer much. There are others that are not so lucky. When we are facing death, we may take an irrational decision, thinking there's still hope, for example, after a risky surgery. But in many cases, even if the surgery is successful, people pass away in the recovery phase, not even conscious, away from the people that love them. This is why it's so important to prepare for this and to talk with our family with time and in their full senses. What would we wish for both them and us when the time comes? Even then, the original lesson has a lot of value. It is important to keep fighting until everything is over. That is certain, but for other things, not so much. And there's the hard part in determining if it's truly over. To be honest, I have never got back with someone after a breakup. But I know people that got back together and are happy. Their breakup made their relationship stronger. There are people who are fired from their job and eventually return to the same company a few years later. And for the threat of death, there are people that simply cannot die without giving a fight. And that is okay. But when it's for another close person to us that has already died, it is over. And we don't need to keep those feelings inside us. Or even worse, blame innocent people who were only trying their best. We can instead accept it, and we can cry. Originally, this was the end of Ace Attorney, and for me, it is a perfect ending that hasn't been surpassed ever since by newer entries. In the past, I have recommended this game to friends of mine that are not invested in playing the whole trilogy. Ideally, they should play them all, but if they could only play one Ace Attorney game, this is the one. All the cases are great. Even case 2 and 3 that are not as dramatic are fun cases, and I really like them. They have some of the most fun moments in all the trilogy. They aren't being broken by the 100th time, Savory, the fake badge, Godot sharing coffee with Phoenix, I love them. And of course, case 1, 4 and 5 are the best. You play as Mia, you play as Edward, each case builds on the other. Oh my god, Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations is my favorite Ace Attorney game, and I rate it a well-deserved 10 out of 10. As for the other games of the original trilogy, I didn't review them in the respective video, so here are my brief thoughts. First, Ace Attorney started it all, and I feel it's a pretty well-rounded game. Having my favorite case be the fourth, there's a lot of satisfaction from defeating Von Karma, but never quite reaching the peaks for me as the second game, that although has very two forgettable cases, the other two are some of the best in the entire series, especially the last one, that reaches Trials and Tribulations quality. For this, I personally consider them equals, and I rate both at 8 out of 10. So on average, I rate the HD trilogy a 9 out of 10. A classic from my childhood that I'm so grateful was remastered in HD. It had so many life lessons that have defined who I am today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that I was able to help you in some way from it. If you did, I would really appreciate your support if you share it with more people. I really want to dedicate more of my life on doing this, so really, thank you so much for watching. At the moment, I will take a break from Ace Attorney. I do want to cover the Apollo Justice trilogy, but I need some time to think about the scripts. And there are other series where I'm a big fan that I'm currently cooking up some videos. And if there's a series you would like me to cover, please by all means mention it in the comments. And well, this has been Productive Fiction, and I hope you have an amazing day.